doing this. So welcome to this time. You know what? So if you're new, and I want you to know, we just got out of what we called Sizzle and Seven. And for those of you who took part in all of that, it was such an amazing time because Sizzle and Seven was all about getting our swag back. And a lot of times life can happen and we lose the swag. And today I just really wanted to kind of piggyback on some of the lessons we had when we talked about, how do you get your sizzle back? And so, oh, great, Cheryl, you say you can hear me. So that's awesome. All right. So I really wanted to do something to let everyone know, okay, well, here are some of the ways to get the swag back. And we had some of the most engaging times this year. So first I want to say thank you to all of you who participated. And we will be doing the Sizzle and Seven again in November. So if you missed this year, then make sure you tune in. If you missed it, if you missed this past one, make sure you tune in November because we'll be kicking off part 2 of the Sizzle. Because we realize that so many women are either feeling lethargic, tired, maybe life has happened, and it's kind of like, where do you go from here? So I want to know in your chat box if you participated in the Sizzle and Seven experience. How was that experience for you? I saw Cheryl post a beautiful photo of her swag, getting her swag back. I saw Trelane post a beautiful piece around getting swag and the beautiful poem that now she's going to read at the IWBCC conference. So that was amazing. And thank you, Trelane, for that. And there were so many people that posted photos, images. They sent me their homework. They worked on so many things that it was absolutely amazing. And so today, I actually want to just share with you guys part of the swag again so we don't forget indeed what we actually learned. So give me a second because I'm going to switch this over. One second. So here we go. And so we started this. And also, one of the things that I want to point out today is we talked about burnout and how burnout and stress overload can equal to what we call emotional drainage. And this type of emotional drainage is terrible because even if there's something you love to do, I think I heard someone talking about podcasting, you can get to a place if you don't realize when, what your levels of balance are or what your needs are, you can be burnt out to the point where you can't stand doing the thing you love. Now, I don't know while I'm talking today, if any of this rings a bell, let me know. But a lot of times we can have burnout, we can have stress overload, and that leads to emotional drainage. And then the hard part about all of this is that typically, sometimes it's debt, sometimes it's thwarted dreams. So like, let's say you failed at something you always wanted to do. So that can be frustrating, or unfulfilling relationships. I think I heard Marielle's talk about, relationships and the challenges that they can bring, or toxicity. That's so true. And then one of the things that we experience when we have a lot of burnout is this symptom of indecision. Like, we know that we have to make decisions, but then because of just different life challenges, we just find ourselves in what I call stagnation. And so when stagnation happens, this is a hard place to be because, at that stage, we know what we want, what we need to do, but we end up either reverting to habits that don't serve us, or we end up self-sabotaging, or we end up just doing things that don't really reflect our truest potential. And then the last thing I mentioned was, look, we are really under construction. We can consider ourselves, hey, I'm under construction. There are things that I need to do to upgrade my life. There are things that I need to do to get to a new level. So I want to ask you, what did you say that you were going to be under construction with if you did sizzle? Or what are some areas you hope to kind of change or expand upon before the year ends? I know I've got some personal goals, so I don't know about you. What would you consider is under construction in your personal life? So is it that you need to be more clear about your goals? Is it that you need to fight for your goals? I want to know, what are you saying, I'm under construction here? What is it, if you could think about some? I'd love to see that in the chat box. And then some of the things we talked about is learning how to stress less. And we created our swag, and Trelane went and created her own swag affirmation that a lot of people liked. But today is the day I will get my swag back. I don't have to stay in the seat of my experience. If I need more money, provision is available. If I need stronger relationships, my tribe is here. If I need self-acceptance, today I recommit to me. And now I need to say this because I was just talking to someone today about relationships and how, whether they're romantic relationships or they're friendship relationships, sometimes relationships can cut you to the core, right? I want some of you to tell me sometimes relationships, or maybe you had big expectations about certain people in your life and they just let you down. And therefore the element of trust is just out the window. I don't know if any of you, if I'm the only person that ever had that, but we have all had some pivotal relationships that either were really great for us or that weren't so great, and it left us either feeling like, ooh, put a Keisha in you. You're kind of like, ooh, I'm never going to trust people again. I don't know, but let me know in the chat box if you can relate to any of this. And then my circumstance has nothing to do with my potential. I'm here today. I choose moments to be still. I choose moments to say, I will not abandon myself in the midst of my change. It's time to snaps to grab my swag. And then a lot of you participated in that, and that was actually amazing to see. And so, we went on and we talked about all of these different things about creating your swag and, letting go of resentments and learning basically how to start over. So that's what we covered in Sizzle in 7. And we're not going to go over all of it because it would literally take us, the whole time to do so. But for those of you who really participated in that, I just want to encourage you. Vicki, you say yes just recently. That's why I'm depressed today. Well, first of all, I want to welcome you. And I also want to say, I know all of us have things that we're going through. So I want to thank you for the courage to even say, I'm depressed. Now, sometimes when we are depressed, we just feel, when our emotions are just, disappointed and we feel dejected. So Miss Vicki, I want to say, hang in there. It's going to be all right. And, every day is not always going to feel like a sunny day, but it will get better. Your tribe is here to support you. So you guys, if you're in the chat box, throw Miss Vicki some encouraging words if you can hear me. But today, the next thing I want to talk about is, what will it take for you to actually reach the other side of your goal? So after you've cleaned out your closets, because that was one of the assignments, clean out your closet. After you say your affirmation and you feel all pumped up, after you have gotten accountability with your tribe, after you've gone through we had an assignment, we had to go through your past and look through all the decades of your life to basically see the pros and the cons. After you've done all of that, you could feel pretty sad, or you could feel a little disappointed about what people do in your life. But then the question is, okay, here I am in October, and I've got November, December, and January. I've got 3 months. I double dare some of you to put in the chat box, what are some of the goals you have for the next 3 months? Is it, number one, I want to make more money? Is it, number two, I need to strengthen my relationships? Is it, number three, I need to feel better about myself? I don't know. So is it making more money, strengthening relationships, making more money? Like, what are some of the goals you have between now and January when you think about reaching the other side of your goal? Hey, Tamaya, so good to see you, sweetie. So if you can hear me, Tamaya, say hi. All right, Tamaya's streaming in from her phone, I guess. But anyhow, what are some of the goals that you guys said you had between October and all the way to January? And I see it's pretty quiet in the chat box. So my thought is that you guys are just thinking. So what are some of the goals you said you had? Now, if your goal is that, look, I need to make more money between now and January, my question is, what's your plan to get there? Are you looking for a new job? Are you trying to start your own business? Is there something you are actively trying to do? Or are you trying to grow in your relationships? Are you trying to strengthen your relationships, leave broken relationships? I want to know, Where are you when it comes to those personal goals you say you have? Tamaya, can you hear me? Yes? Okay, good. All right. So a lot of times when we think about these personal goals that we think, well, I didn't get to the goal, or I started well when January hit and I have fallen off. So I want to ask you to think really clearly around whatever these goals are that you would like to reach. Now, I know some of you want to make more money. And so my question is, what are you going to do to make that an actual reality?